and father. The village of Mirabad lay nestled between a dying forest and a dried-up riverbed, forgotten by time and cursed by stories no one dared to repeat aloud. Its air always felt heavy, like the land itself was holding its breath. Zareen was just 17, quiet, obedient, and known for her soft smile. She lived with her father, Maulvi Haroon, and younger brother Fahim. Her mother had passed away when she was 8, and since then, Zareen had become the backbone of their little home. Every morning before the azan echoed through the valley, she swept the floors, fetched water, and prayed. But in the past few weeks, something had changed. The birds no longer sang outside their windows. The neighborhood cat, once a regular visitor, had vanished. And Zareen began waking up with scratches on her arms and dust on her feet, as if she'd been walking in her sleep. She never remembered her dreams, only a feeling, a pressure in her chest, and whispers. So many whispers. Her father noticed too. "Why do you seem so pale, Beta?" he'd ask. She would smile and say, "Just tired, Abba." But she was hiding something. One morning, while drawing water from the old well behind their house, Zareen fainted. Fahim screamed until neighbors came running. They carried her inside, and someone ran to fetch the village Hakim. What the Hakim said silenced the entire room. "She's pregnant." The words slammed into Maulvi Haroon like a dagger. He staggered back, face drained of color. "That's not possible," he muttered. "She barely leaves the house. We're a respected family. This must be a mistake." But it wasn't. And the real horror hadn't even begun. As the days passed, whispers in the village turned into loud accusations. Women looked at Zareen with disgust, men with twisted smiles. Maulvi Haroon stopped going to the masjid. Shame clung to their home like a rotting smell. But Zareen insisted she had done nothing wrong. She cried in the night, holding her stomach, begging her father to believe her. Fahim, too young to understand, started seeing shadows in the corners of their home. He said a tall woman with no eyes stood near his bed. At first, Haroon dismissed it as childish imagination, until he too began hearing footsteps at night. Soft, wet footsteps, like someone was dragging their feet. One night, he followed the sound and found Zareen standing in front of the well, whispering to it. Her eyes were wide open, but she didn't respond to his voice. He pulled her back, terrified, and she collapsed in his arms. The village elders demanded answers. They called a local peer, who examined Zareen and declared that she was being haunted by a Nazarban jinn, a spirit that latches onto purity and corrupts it. He claimed it had marked her years ago, possibly after her mother's death, and had grown stronger with time. Rituals began, charms were buried, smoke filled their house. But nothing changed. In fact, things worsened. Animals died mysteriously. The walls of their home wept at night. Zareen began speaking in a deep, unfamiliar voice. She said things she could never know, secrets of the villagers, sins of the elders. Then came the night of the birth. Thunder cracked the sky open as if God himself was watching. Zareen screamed through the storm, her voice not her own. The midwife fled after taking one look between Zareen's legs. No one else dared enter the room. Maulvi Haroon stood outside, frozen in horror as a baby's cry rang out. Not the cry of a human child, but something older, deeper, filled with rage. When he finally entered the room, Zareen lay unconscious, and beside her, wrapped in a torn cloth, was a child with black eyes and no mouth. He did not weep. He only stared. Days later, the child vanished. No footprints, no sound, just gone. And with him, the whispers stopped. Zareen awoke with no memory of the birth. Her body healed unnaturally fast. But something inside her had died, or perhaps something had stayed behind. To this day, people of Mirabad speak of the girl who bore a child from the unseen. Some say the child still walks the forest, watching. Others believe he returned to the well, waiting for a new mother. But Maulvi Haroon? He went mad, muttering to himself, digging endlessly beside the dried-up river. And Zareen? She watches the well every morning, a faint smile on her face, as if listening to whispers only she can hear. The unseen father never left, and one day he will return.